All right, so this will be about your 过大礼 stuff, and I think a lot of you guys don't know your Chinese tradition. All right, don't know your Chinese tradition, so make sure you stay tuned because coming right up, we will have this seminar. Okay, so there we go. Who is this fine lady? This is Michelle. Michelle, is your mic muted? I believe your mic is muted.
It's muted.
Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Now we can hear you loud
Hello.
and clear. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Chinese wedding shop. They dedicate to preserving and promoting Chinese tradition, wedding customary stuff. All right, so Michelle, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, Gerald.
Are you somewhere in Chinatown? What is this?
Okay, we're in our shop. So we are here to educate and teach them about the traditions of being a Chinese and the Chinese wedding customary things that they need to go through. They can actually ask us for advice, and we'll teach everything that we know. And this is actually FOC service that we provide, no obligations. So they can always come to any of our outlets. We have 5 across the island. And if they have any, Chinese customary inquiries, they can always ask any of our shop staff here. I would be very happy to help.
Man, I'm super excited. Could you just give us like a show round of like where things are? How big's the shop? Show us around. Like
Sure, go ahead. So this is actually our Parkway shop. And as you can see, we have got everything in shelvings, and we actually divide our shop according to the different segments of the groom 过大礼 and the bride 嫁妆, so that it's easier when they come in. So when they are from the bride's family, we'll actually show them all the dowry items, all the 嫁妆 items that they need to get. And then when it's the groom side come in, we'll actually bring them to the groom side of the shop.
Hold on. What do you mean? I thought couples come in together to buy couple things. What do you mean by groom stuff, bride stuff?
Yes, couples come in to buy couples things, but then we have got certain things that the groom will need to get to bring over to the bride's house on 过大礼 day to present to the bride's parents, and these are the items. So what you see in front of you are what the groom side will need to prepare as gifts to the bride's family. And then we also have another side of the shop which shows the gifts that the bride will need to prepare to give to the couple. So yeah, so that's where these are the items that the bride side will need to get. So this is the 嫁妆 actually. So that's why it's divided into 女家 and 男家.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yes, I hear you speaking a lot of Chinese. If you're more comfortable explaining it in Chinese, go ahead. But I just need to let you know that 我的华语不是差，我的华语是烂。
没有问题。
没问题。
OK， 不用紧，听得懂就好。
听得懂就好，对。
对，听得懂就好。
So as couples, could you give us like the basic idea of what we need to buy?
Okay, today actually we're going to talk about the wedding day itself. So when it comes to a wedding day, there are certain things that the couples need to look out for. But being that said, right, I just want all couples to know that don't worry on your wedding day itself, because you have engaged a professional videographer, photographer. They are very professional. They actually know what they're doing, so they will guide you along the way. So you don't have to, take notes and then be very stressed about it. Just remember on your wedding day, please put on a very big smile. Because you have spent so much money engaging videographers and photographers. They want to see that big smile in your face. They want to see you enjoying yourself. So just enjoy yourself on a big day, and then just carry along, and then they will guide you along what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very rough guide about what the day is all about, so that you know roughly what is going to happen next. So we actually start with when you wake up in the morning. Let's start with when you wake up in the morning, so it's easier. So both sides, the bride will be in the bride's house, and then the groom will be in the groom's house. So after you wake up, 梳洗了一下, so you go to the toilet, and then you change. And then you actually change into your long sleeves, long pants, pajamas, and then put on your bedroom slippers, and then you're going to have a hair combing ceremony. So 梳头是我们华人的一个成人礼，就是说我们长大了. So parents 帮我们梳头. And when our parents do this for us, all you need to do is to hold on to the mirror and hold on to the ruler. 这个 ruler 的意思就是说长大了要有分寸的意思。然后 hold on to the mirror, look at yourself and think about how you're going to be a good husband, a good wife. And then your parents will actually use the comb. And then 当你梳三下 and while they are combing, they will actually read these 3 sentences. So 一梳梳到尾，二梳白发起眉，三梳儿孙满堂。This 梳头 is actually a very simple ceremony. It takes about 5 minutes. There's 2 times that you can do it. Once is actually the night before the wedding. So the night before the wedding, just before you sleep, you can change into the pajamas and then you can do it. Or the morning itself, a lot of grooms will choose it to do it the night before the wedding. And then the brides, actually, a lot of brides will choose it to do it in the morning itself. Because in the morning itself, the videographers and photographers, they will actually come and then they will do the makeup. So after the makeup is done, just before the hair is up, you will actually do the hair combing ceremony. So after the hair combing ceremony, we'll have the hair up and then the parents will do the veil. We'll cover the veil for them. And then that's when the ceremony is actually done already. So it's actually a very simple ceremony. So once 你梳了头了过后, so you can set off to fetch the bride. The groom will actually change into his suit and then the bride will change into her gown and then we'll set off to fetch the bride. So after the groom sets off, the groom must remember to bring along a tray of oranges. That's 12 oranges and 一个礼乳礼金在上面. So this tray of 12 oranges is actually to be presented to the parents, to the bride's parents. And 那个礼乳礼金是给他的父母的，就给他们养育之恩的意思。
Okay.
So the groom will actually bring this tray along together with the 兄弟姐妹, together with the 兄弟 and go and fetch the bride.
Okay.
And then once the groom's
yes. Must have how much money?
Okay, 这个很难说，算百的 is in hundreds.
Okay. 不是算千的。
不是算千的，是算百的。对，聘金算千的，那那个礼乳是算百的。Okay, so he set off to fetch the bride. Then that's when you see the candles. Okay, candles have to be lit by parents. So the parents will actually light up the candles. Both sides of the family have to light it up at the same time. So you either say a predetermined time, like 8 o'clock, 8点点蜡烛. Or we're going to light the candles, then the groom's father will actually call the bride's father and say, 准备一下，多15分钟我们点蜡烛了。So there's 2 ways you can do about doing it. So candles are lit by parents, so the groom and bride don't have to be around. So so we go back to the groom. Once he reached the bride's house downstairs, he will actually honk the car horn. And then the bride's younger brother will come down with 2 oranges to open the car door for him. So the grooms, please remember to stay in the car and not come out until the bride's younger brother comes and open the car door for you to welcome you to the house. So you accept the 2 oranges and then you give the 开车门礼金 to the bride's younger brother. After that, you can go upstairs and gate crash. So while gate crashing, you will give a lot of red packets. So we have got many different designs of red packets, small to big, for you to choose from. So once you have exhausted all your red packets already, so surrender already, you can go in already. So once you enter successfully, the brothers will actually present the oranges to the parents. And the parents 会还6粒 orange, so they will keep half and return half. And then 礼乳红包 they will keep all. 会收到完的这个. So the groom will go and fetch the bride, lift the veil, kiss the bride, and then they will prepare to leave the house. So before they leave the house, they will actually bow to the parents, and the parents will give them 甘蔗礼金跟带路鸡礼金. I don't know whether you remember last time. When you're very young, I don't think you remember. Last time, during weddings, you have to 绑甘蔗在车上, so that sugar cane tied to the cars, and then there's 公鸡母鸡要带去结婚的 live ones. So nowadays no need lah. So we have got red packets to represent these 2. So 这个是幸福平安的意思。对。So when they leave the house, the bride's father, please remember to enter the same lift as the bride and the groom, because the bride's father will have to open the umbrella when the lift door opens downstairs. So when the lift door opens, the bride's father will open up the umbrella and shelter the bride to give her to shelter her to provide her with a good life for the rest of her life, to provide her with a good shelter for the rest of her life. 这个我们叫好命伞。对，这女儿出嫁，嫁出去过后好命的意思。 So once you enter the car, you can close the umbrella, pass it to one of the 姐妹 and the 姐妹会帮她带去男家。然后新娘上了车过后 turn around say oh your bye bye， 讲完了过后要丢扇子 ，so she'll throw a fan and then remember 丢的时候不要往后看，丢了 then the car will drive off and 她的妈去拿回来 ，the mother will pick up the fan， 就是把家信拿回来的意思。So this is we call this the entire process 出门跟接新娘。So once they reach the groom's house, that is 过门的时候。So 过门的时候 once you reach downstairs, same thing, the car will honk. And then upstairs, 长辈要回避 so the elders will actually retreat into the kitchens or into the rooms. And then the bride and groom will enter the house. So after they enter the house, they actually go into a room and then the elders will come out. And then the bride and groom can come out to have the tea ceremony and 吃汤圆。So 敬茶的时候要注意几样东西 Let me show you. So 敬茶的时候 of course you will need your tea set, your bowl set. And then there's another thing that you need. 跪枕 kneeling cushions. This is actually very important. A lot of people miss this because I'm not sure whether you know this. Maybe I should tell you all. When on the day of the wedding itself, the bride and the groom actually don't take off their shoes. So early in the morning, they actually wear their bedroom slippers, and then they will from their bedroom slippers step directly into their bride and groom shoes. 因为他们的脚跟不可以着地，要垫起来给他们富贵 means for prosperity. So when they serve tea to their elders, especially for their parents and their grandparents, they have to kneel. But also because their knees cannot touch the ground, they need kneeling cushions to actually prop up their knees. So this is very important, have to practice. So once when you kneel down, you kneel on this, and for parents and grandparents, you actually need to kneel down to serve the tea.
Okay.
Only for uncles and aunties you can stand. So for the tea ceremony as well, a lot of people don't know the sequence. Actually start with your parents. Even if your grandparents are around, you still start with parents. So after parents, it will be your father's parents, which is your akong ama.
Yes.
So after your akong ama, it will be your father's brothers and then your father's sisters. And then it comes to your mother's parents, which is your 外公外婆, and then your mother's brothers and your mother's sisters. And then your elder siblings, and then the couple will sit down and younger siblings will actually serve tea to them. And then they give them red carpet. So that's the proper sequence. And then after that, followed by 吃汤圆. 吃汤圆, of course, you need 2 bowls. And then you have 6 汤圆 in each bowl. 一碗6粒6粒, 吃3粒3粒就好. You eat 3 汤圆 each. You don't 没有吃到完的. Then the rest.
为什么呢?
Sorry?
为什么不能吃到完？
有剩的意思。不是浪费，有剩的意思。Yes, something.
年年有余了，对吧？
Something like that, yes. So this is 过门. So after the tea ceremony and after the 吃汤圆, they actually go back to the room, change into a tea dress, and then go back to the bride's house. So, that's the 出门 and the 过门.
Okay, so let's pause here because I personally have some questions as well as the chat room. Chat room also has some questions. Let's start with the chat room questions. One of them is asking, Clarissa is asking, is it compulsory to have a boy open the car door on the actual wedding day? Can we skip this step?
Okay. No, it's not compulsory. Okay, it's not compulsory for a boy to open the car door at the groom's side, but at the bride's side, yes. So it doesn't have to be your own brother because sometimes you don't have a younger brother, right? So it can be a nephew, it can be a cousin, it can be as long as the person is younger than you, a boy.
Okay,
that's fine.
Within the family tree.
If you really don't have somebody who is a relative, you can actually have someone who is a friend. But as long as he is 越亲越好 or a neighbor. So as long as he's younger than you and is a boy 就可以了.
Okay.
So he'll be Aku for the day. Yeah, the 舅子 for the day.
Next question is, can we skip this step?
Skip this step of welcoming the groom into the bride's house? Most people will not.
No, the boy opening the door.
Yeah, this is the welcoming the groom. So the boy is actually welcoming the groom. So most people will not skip this step.
Okay.
So it's best to prepare someone there.
Okay, just to open the door. Got it.
Right.
Okay, so next question by Teo Mingjia is, why is it not allowed for the bride to look back after throwing the bag?
Why is it not allowed for the okay 丢扇子的时候不要往后看，代表嫁一次就好，不要回头，
代表什么呢？
嫁一次就好。So you marry once, you don't look back,
就好。
you don't turn back. Yes.
Oh, why you turn back to look at your parents means must嫁两次？
Not really lah. It's just telling you not to 回头咯。回头有两个意思嘛，回头 look at your parents as a 回头 is going back.
Oh, okay.
So just
Okay, my
不要回头的意思。
question is more socially responsible towards the environment. So I see like a lot of the products that we are gonna like be purchasing for the actual day, we only use for the actual day. So is there any like rental service on your side? Is there any like how does it go?
Yes, we do. Okay, for the wedding day, we don't because every single item actually has its own meaning. So 有意思的每一样东西. So a lot of items don't have rental, but we do rent the baskets. So as you can see, a basket like that, a black and red basket like that, takes about 3 months to make. So we actually rent these out. It can be passed down for generations. Last time we used to have to every family used to have new ones, but nowadays people will actually rent from us. We will lend them for free as well. If you take our package, we'll lend it to you for free, so you don't have to buy.
Yeah. But then there are other teapots and all that is a compulsory to buy.
The tea set actually represents 尽孝道, so filial piety. So this one is actually quite compulsory to buy because it represents your kids' filial piety to you in the future. So it's actually quite important. So we suggest everybody to have their own tea set. So you can have a brand new tea set at the groom's house, but at the bride's house, during the tea ceremony, you can use your mother's set.
Okay. So
Yeah.
to keep it,
So
at
that's
the end
recycling.
Of the wedding, to keep it and someday
Yes.
use it
So next
for-
time 你嫁女儿的时候 you can actually use it.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like during our when we go Yakun, we can use. All right, so we've got another question. If my brother is married before me, during my tea ceremony, does he need to serve tea to me? Is it about marriage?
Yes.
Is it about who gets married first, or is it about who is older than who, or is it like who is more senior in the family tree?
Yes, it's about ranking. It's about seniority. So it's got nothing to do with whether you're married or not. So even if your younger brother is married before you, he's actually supposed to serve tea to you together with his wife. So his wife must also serve tea to you. It's about seniority.
About seniority. Okay, got it. What if my younger brother's wife is actually my boss at work, so she's more senior than me, right? Technically. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, at work, yes, I agree. At work, you probably have to bow to her, but then at home, she has to serve you tea. She still has to serve you tea at home. 在家你还是比较大，因为她是你的弟弟的老婆。
Okay,
So 你是姐姐，对。
That was just a silly question, guys. So we're gonna ask you. I think the floor has quite a few questions already. Personally, I think the rest of the questions we kind of prepared beforehand. So let me see if we've missed anything. Seems like we've covered quite a lot, right? Is there anything else that you think couples should know?
Oh yes, there's another thing called 回门. So 回门 actually in tradition times it used to be 3 days later. So when you say 3 days later, means today is your wedding day, and then tomorrow 后天 the next day you actually return home to the bride's family. In not say tradition times, but actually now it's being practiced in other countries across the world as well. Because like for example in China, in Taiwan, in not Hong Kong, in China, Taiwan, or maybe even Malaysia and Indonesia, when they're from different states, the bride and groom is from different states, it's impossible to go back home on the same day. So on the third day of the wedding, they'll actually bring the bride home to visit the relatives, to visit the mom and dad. But in Singapore, we actually do it on the wedding day itself because 45 minutes across the island. So we actually go back on the same day. So on 三朝回门 in Singapore actually is being held on the wedding day itself. So just now I ended with the bride will actually change into a tea dress and then to go back home. So this is when Huimen will start. So after changing into a tea dress, the younger brother, who is the younger brother who opened the car door for the groom, the aku for the day we call it, will actually bring a basket and then to the bride and give it to his sister, who is the bride. So this basket, inside the basket, right, will have oil, which represents 小时候 baby 的时候，你出生，妈妈照顾你的时候，然后 it will have powder represents 妈妈把你带大，变成漂亮的女孩子，然后出嫁的时候。So this represents 从小到大妈妈在家里照顾你的篮子，再加上这个春花，这个春花是妈妈叫我们记得嫁出去过后要帮家里存钱。So it's actually a very important female role in the family to guide the finances of the family, to make sure that the family has enough money to tide through all troubles. So this basket is actually given to the bride, and this basket represents the mother's her parents 的心意 to say that 你嫁出去过后记得回娘家看父母的意思。So it actually carries a lot of meaning. So the bride will actually take out the things inside and then put it on the dressing table and then put one huat kueh and 2 oranges and then 回娘家. So she'll return home with the basket. So this basket is being used by Teochews. This basket is being used by Hokkiens. So this is actually a Hokkien and a Teochew custom. So it also represents 不要空手回娘家的意思.
Okay.
So when you return home, you don't go home empty-handed. 不要空手回娘家的意思. So and then we also have other dialect groups, of course. We have got the Cantonese and the Hakkas and the Hainanese who will bring along saozu. So roast pigs. Yes. Oh, I don't have the actual ones here. I've got small mini chopstick ones. Yes. Oh, you're Hainanese. Yes, 烧猪 very important. 这个烧猪对广东人、客家人跟海南人来说是很重要的。So last time you used to represent.
Right?
Yes, you present the entire big 烧猪. You bring over to the bride's house. Then the bride's family will actually cut out the middle part and then place it with oranges and along with a pair of pens that they want to give it to you. And then they place it on top of the 烧猪 together with 一个金猪礼金 they return the 头跟尾给你，给你有头有尾的意思。So the middle part they will keep. Yes.
So interesting. My gosh, seems like we could talk about this forever, considering like how many traditions there are and the fact that you're well versed with probably all of them. Like, look, it sounds so confusing, right? Like, there's so many things that you told me. I swear they're nice and interesting, but I cannot remember like even the first step. So how do you provide your services? Like, will you just be there to help with the purchase, help them explain, or are you there on the actual day? Because it's also a bit funny if you're there on the actual day, just tell them, okay, do this, okay, do that. How do you do?
Last time they used to engage Maypo, remember? So last time there used to be a Maypo who comes along with you on your wedding day on 过大礼 to guide you through all this. But nowadays, for 过大礼 packages, we actually provide a guide. So we'll give you a written guide. You can follow the guide. It literally stays step by step, stick double happiness stickers on every orange, that kind of thing. It's really step by step to guide you along for your 过大礼. For your Antoine, there's also a guide. So it's also step by step. Change bed sheets and then put the tray in the middle of the bed, that kind of thing. So for the wedding day, we didn't provide a guide because I said in the beginning, on the wedding day, don't look so stressed. Just remember to smile, and then your videographer and photographer who are very professional, they do this several times a week, they will guide you through the entire process. And they will actually tell you exactly where to stand, how to receive the oranges. They must pause so that they got time to take photo and take the video. So you don't have to worry about all that. They will guide you through the entire wedding day process.
Yeah. All right, so we have a question from Teo Mingjia, and are these available for rent or only for purchase? I think we kind of answered that question a bit earlier, and to answer that question, there are certain items that you must purchase, and there are some items that you are recommended to rent because you're only going to use it once and it's expensive. But if you ultimately want to purchase it because you're a scholar and maybe you want to just keep it at home and put it at the corner of your house, you could. Correct?
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Fantastic. All right, we've got another question, and that is from Kendra Tan. the customs seem to be a lot of steps, and I don't think the props come cheap. Is it okay if we rent or borrow from the previous brides? Is there anything price on a budget can forego? Don't get. What a must? What are the things that are must? I mean, basically, like if you were to put a list of things that must to don't really need, what are the must and what are the don't really need?
Okay, Ken. We understand that a lot of brides are on budget nowadays. So there are actually a lot of different um, uh, different types of pricing for our products. So there's actually some of the cheaper ones, and there's some, of course, very expensive ones. So the very expensive ones, like the basket, like I said, that one comes free. So we rent or we lend it to you. That basket itself, right, you actually save a few $100s. One basket is $400 over dollars. So you don't have to buy it. So we'll rent it. Yeah. But there's certain things that we best not to borrow or rent from other brides. That's because every single item has its own meaning. So it's your own good luck. So for example, 好命伞, the umbrella, it's best not to lend this because 这个是好命伞 is very important. So 这个代表你的好命的意思. So 爸爸给你嫁出去，给你好命的意思. So this is actually your future luck and your future life. So we suggest not to buy this second hand or not to, to borrow this from anybody at all because it represents your own good luck. And then tea sets you can borrow. At the groom's house, you have to use a new set. But at the bride's house, you can borrow your mother's one, or you can borrow from somebody else. So at the bride's house, if you want to borrow from somebody else, you have to give that person a red packet. At the groom, if you borrow your mother's one, you don't have to. But if you borrow from somebody else's, then you have to give the person a red packet because it represents her good luck as well. So that's where the red packet comes into play. So certain things you can use it again and again. So for example, like the candle stands. We have got candles, and then we have got candle stands as well. Candle stands you can actually reuse. You don't have to buy new ones. Yeah. And other than that, I think more or less most of the items, yes, it's quite necessary to get one set of new ones. But normally, as after the wedding, you can actually use them again. So like the pajamas, the slippers, and all this, you can actually use them again.
Yeah.
So you don't have to necessarily use them once. Yeah.
Man, I could stare at these items all day and ask like too many questions. Like, why there's so many lamps and so many designs?
Oh yes, you're welcome to come to our shops anytime.
What are the lamps for?
The lamps are for bed setting. 给你们一个明亮的未来 to give the couples a bright future. 延续香火的意思 is to give them suns as well.
Yeah. So the lamp must be at the bedside like forever until the baby comes out.
For 24 hours of your wedding day. So that starts the night before the wedding.
I thought it was like until the baby pops out, then you can remove the lamp because I don't know whether my future house design would be able to cater to this kind of designs. Yeah, speaking of sets, right? Like I see that a lot of them are very traditional. Are there like more modern ones? What kind of designs do you have that are? Do you have like different designs that cater to different themes? Are there different themes basically?
Yes, we do. Like for example, I'll show you my towels. Our towels are actually very popular. We have got really different designs for towels. We have got cute cartoon ones. Yeah, then like this. And then we have got Western ones. And then we have got double happiness ones. So really depends on what kind of design you like. We've got a lot of different designs to suit all different tastes.
Okay. You know what? Why not at this point of time, right? Like tell us what's the rough budget. What we looking at? Are we looking at $1,500 basic, or are we talking about like easily $3,500?
Oh no. For when it comes to Guotali, it comes two families. So there's the bride's family and then there's the groom's family as well. Per family actually spend about a few $100s to $1,000. So maximum both families add together $1,000 plus. That's about the normal spendings of one Guotali. So both the bride and the groom add together about 1 to 2K.
Okay, you know what? Honestly, for a bright future together with my wife, I definitely spend anything less than 2,000. Just spend. Easy, no problem.
This is the smallest expense in a wedding, actually.
Say again?
This is the smallest expense in the wedding, in the entire wedding.
Yeah, think about it. Photography, more expensive. Wedding day, of course, more expensive. Videography, yeah, this is the most affordable. Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
is.
Let's talk about how, although it's affordable, but I feel like a lot of people my generation, unfortunately, who are getting married, they all kind of want to skip this step, right? So what do you tell couples that want to skip this step because they don't see any like relevance with this, and maybe like my parents' time, everything's so great, don't need to do it, don't feel like doing it. What do you tell them?
Okay, a lot of couples actually want to skip this step because they don't really understand the traditions and they don't really understand what is it for. So what happens is at home, the parents will say, hey, when is your 过大礼? Then they'll go like, huh, what's 过大礼? The 过大礼 is the day when your husband has to bring over the gold and the dowry money and all the food items. Then they go like, what's that for? Then they go like, must do one. So they can't really explain why. So when the family actually, the parents actually bring the couples down to the shops, and then we explain to the couples every single thing has its own meaning and it actually benefits the couples. After hearing it, they understand, and it's end of the day it's actually the couples who want to do it because they understand it's actually for their own good and it will bring back good memories for them as well. So this is the kind of customs that we're doing here is similar to the kind of customs that goes on throughout the year, starting from Chinese New Year, during the beginning of the year, all the way until nowadays is Mid Autumn Festival where it's 吃月饼. So 你 Mid Autumn Festival 你一定是吃月饼，一定是去赏月，一定是提灯笼，就好像结婚的时候你一定会做过大礼，一定会安床，一定会梳头，一样的道理。It's just that you do it once in your year, once in your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. I feel at least to me personally, if one day I do get married, I would just feel like this is an event, so it's a one-off. I feel like it's not even too difficult to do any of this. It's fun, if anything, and it's almost like the gate crashing. You don't have to do it. Technically, you just put ROM, put the ring in, and you're done. You don't even need to do your wedding day. You don't even need to walk down the aisle. You don't need to do the champagne popping. I think all this is just customary. It's all in the name of love. It's all for memory. You pop the champagne, you cut the cake, all for the memory, and this is part of it. And I don't think we should miss it. Honestly, I am the least like fun person, but I feel if anything, I will just do it for memory, for pictures, for video, if anything. Yeah.
And to pass on the traditions.
Indeed. So, Michelle, maybe you'd like to tell us a little bit more about your promotions before you go. Is there anything you guys are having at the moment?
Oh, yes. So right now we're having a promotion whereby we settle all the items that you require for your 过大礼 all the way to the wedding day itself. So it covers your 安床, your 梳头, your wedding day essentials, everything all in one grand bundle package. So at a very, very special price, never happened before. So do come down to the shops to take a look. So the promo actually ends today. Or we don't have any more Zoom slots left, sorry, because we are all caught up with this Facebook Live today. And all my Zooms have been full over the weekends. But you can actually pop down to any of our 5 outlets across the island, and then we'll tell you about the promotion that we have. Today being the last day, we are all open until 8:30 tonight. So do pop by if you're free.
Wow, did you say 5 outlets? I never knew you have 5. I thought like 1.
Yes, we have 5. We have one here in Parkway, and then we have another one in the east in Bedok. We have another 2 in the west, one in Jurong Point and one in Jam, and we have one in Ang Mo Kio. So that's 5.
Wow. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse to miss buying any of these items because it's everywhere. There we go.
And we are also available online as well. You can actually find us through all these channels. So if there's any wedding-related enquiries, we are here to guide you, to hold your hand all the way till your wedding day. And even after, when you don't know what to do with the items that you have used, how to keep them, you can always ask us. No worries.
Yeah, if you hold my hand all the way till my wedding day and after, I think my wife will be angry. So
we'll hold both your hands, you and your wife.
I mean, fine one. She will be angry if you hold my hand any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. If you're at home, give her a round of applause. I think I've learned a lot. I'm not sure about you. I definitely learned a lot. I think all of us owe her a round of applause to the Chinese wedding shop. So we hope you had a little clearer understanding of the processes of the Chinese wedding ceremony. And if you've got any other further questions, you know exactly where to find Michelle. And her Zoom link, unfortunately, are all taken up. All the slots are taken up for a Zoom link already.
Yes.
So make sure you head on down to her Facebook post. And if you want, you just Google, because we got 5 outlets all around Singapore, so no excuse. Now, Michelle, thank you so much for spending your
Thank
time
you.
with us. Thank you, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.